Rangnick and Anthony Martial have a public bust-up and disagreement. Ralph has said that Anthony Martial refused to be part of the matchday squad for United's game away at Villa Park, of course, which ended in a disastrous 2-2 draw with United leading with 13 minutes to go. Anthony Martial has hit back and stated that he would never disrespect the fans or the club. He's been here 7 years. He would never do that. And he will never refuse to play a match for Manchester United. Who's telling the truth? Why is this happening? We're going to delve into that and much more. Take your phone calls this morning as well on the Done Deal show. But more Manchester United turmoil ensues. More problems with Manchester United. Again and again and again. It just feels like history repeating itself. Let's go. Morning, welcome back to the Done Deal show, and it's a mess. It is an absolute mess at Manchester United. Of course, rants happened yesterday, and by the end of the stream, I always feel better by the end of a stream because it's kind of cathartic. You have a little bit of fun. Man like ZT pulling out his toiletry bag with them bills in. It was a good show. Heated at times, but a good show. I don't really read or look at the news while I'm in the middle of a show like that because I really want to focus on what people are saying and the comments as well. And I finished and I started sort of checking out on press conferences and whatever else. And you listen to what Ralph said about Anthony Martial, and you see that he is, according to Ralph, refused to be part of the matchday squad. The reaction to this, I saw a lot of Martial stands sort of say, I can't support Martial now after this. I've been backing him and now I can't. A lot of people were saying, see, I knew he was a bad egg. I knew he was a problem. This is the reason why United have been struggling. This is one of the reasons why Man United have been struggling. And then we see the Instagram post. So I didn't see this until this morning, where Anthony Martial said that he never refused to play for Man United. He's been here for 7 years and would never disrespect and will never disrespect the club. He says, I never disrespected and I will never disrespect the club and the fans. So very much refuting what Ralph has said. This gives me huge flashbacks to Martial and Jose Mourinho. I always have a problem with airing dirty linen in public. Sometimes you need to. For instance, with Aubameyang, if you're going to drop him from the team, you have to explain why, and sometimes you have to out it. And I get that. But as a general rule, most of the time, I don't like what Ralph did. And I'm not going to change my tune because I like Ralph Rangnick. My morality and thoughts on this will remain true. So I don't like that. At the same time, do I think Ralph's a liar? No. So I'm really conflicted. Do I think he would just make it up? No. What's the mileage in him making it up? I don't get it. I don't get why he would. I don't get what Ralph gains through lying. So if he is, it isn't just unprofessional. Stupidity. It is outrageously dumb. Do I trust Martial 100%? Again, no real reason not to. It's such a straight... Someone, though, is lying. Someone, though, is lying. And we may never know the truth. I've already seen everybody taking their sides on socials, and I'm like, this is part of the problem. Rather than focusing... I saw a poll that someone put out today. They're not even a Man United fan. 72% of the vote said that the players at Man United are the biggest problem. And the owners are bottom, I think, got like 7% of the vote. It's like, yeah, the players behave like this because they've been allowed to get away with behaving like this by the owners. They are the problem. They always have and they always will be. The symptoms of them, the symptoms from them being the biggest problem are things like player power. And what's very interesting here, though, we saw a whole week of people saying player power has taken too much of a grip at Manchester United. But then today, we're backing a player versus a manager argument again. And that's why I hope, for the sake of my football club, I hope Martial's a liar. And I hope Ralph gets backed by the club. They discipline the player. They make an example of him. And it's one of the stepping stones to Man United improving. That's what I hope. That isn't because I dislike Anthony Martial. I see that as the only clear way forward. I hope Ralph isn't the liar, because he'll never get respect back again, which means who's going to listen to him when he goes upstairs? So selfishly, I want it to be that way round. But I don't know why. I just don't feel like Martial's lying, though. So that's what I want it to be. That's how I want it to go. I just don't feel like that's the case. I am so conflicted with it. It's unbelievable. I want to know what you think and feel. The one thing I do know, categorically I do know, is that this football club is in the bin. It's in the mud. The mentality it's not even a bad mentality. There is no mentality for elite level sports. It's crazy. Terry, you know something is not right. No, I agree. Something isn't right. And it's an interesting one to see what the club do now. I think the actions that come next are going to give it... Like I say, I can sit here and give you my thoughts and feelings, but my thoughts and feelings on this keep changing. My own thoughts contradict I'll have a thought now. Oh, maybe it's this. That'll contradict my previous point. That's because we don't know. So what you do when you don't know something is you look at all different scenarios, and you can think of 5 reasons as to why this has happened. They're all going to kind of overlap or contradict each other slightly, but we don't know. I don't see Anthony Martial as a bad player, a bad person, a bad egg that would do this. I don't look at Ralph and see a liar. Someone is here. The actions that come next from the football club, I think, are going to be very, very telling indeed. Don Juan says 5 months left. The players know he's going soon. But he isn't, though. He's going upstairs. In fact, if they give him the control that Man United are promising, Ralph's going to gain more power. Ralph's going to have more power in 5 months than he has now as manager. So that's why this is weird. And the next move is going to be massive. I'm telling you this now as well, from a football club standpoint. Even if Ralph's the liar, they've got to back him. They have to. What we might find is there's a bit of a Wayne Rooney, Sir Alex Ferguson moment here. Wayne Rooney's second transfer request. I think the news about that came out on the day of Fergie's last game. Rooney always disputes that he put in a transfer request. Fergie interpreted it as a transfer request. And it was essentially... It wasn't before his last game, but the news came out then. It was, am I in your plans? No, not right now. I might have to look for a new club then. Go for it. Was turned into, he put in a transfer request. I think Rooney was simply stating, I was having a conversation Where if I'm not in your plans, maybe I have to look at another club. Sometimes you throw out a question like that because you're waiting, you're going to respond to the answer. You know, speak to your boss. Oh, I'd love to get a promotion. Yeah, right now you're not ready. Might have to start thinking about another job. You want to kind of see if your boss is going to say, "Oh no, don't leave though. Maybe we can work something out." Like you're looking for that response. But I think Fergie came out and retracted his statement some months, maybe a year or so later, that he misunderstood what Rooney meant. So maybe we've got that kind of situation here. Maybe Martial said one thing and Ralph's taken it another way and it all gets played down. But I don't know. Maybe that's me again, clutching at positivity straws, which don't exist, you know? JW here. Sorry, WJ. Sorry, it says, Terry, I'm not sure, but you remember when RR said he was injured? I think you mean Martial maybe, was injured and his wife came out and said he's lying. Ralph Rangnick probably said it and told the truth. Said F it and told the truth. Maybe. And look, again, when this is where it becomes contradictory. I think when Ralph said that Martial was out injured, I swear I read a report a week or so earlier where Martial's camp had told Ralph that he had a bad knee. I don't know. I don't know. The proof's going to be in the pudding. But it's what's more worrying. It isn't even this scenario in itself. It's everything that's going on. This is a symptom of the problem at Man United, and it's kind of strange that Ralph's come in. A lot of people are calling him a puppet right now. He's picking players the ball tell him to. You know, he's being told to say these things by the club. It's mad. But yeah, he's the guy that's bearing it. It's what I'm finding crazy about that train of thought is, why are you angry with Ralph? Why are we always angry at the puppet and not the puppet master? It's very strange, but everyone's got a different view and opinion. I'm going to open up the lines now for you to come on and have your say, because this is obviously big news this morning in the Man United fan base. And I'm honest with you, I'm a little bit confused. I just feel confused by it. More than maybe I got all my anger out last night. I'm almost not even angry with it because I don't know who to be angry with, because I don't know the full truth, the whole truth. I don't. It doesn't make sense. But Ralph lying pretty much just ended his Man United career. How are the players ever going to trust him if he's out there lying about Martial? Martial's lying. He needs the club to get rid of him. Maybe. I don't know. I still none of it makes sense. Maybe you've got a theory and a thought that'll help me this morning. I'm 13 minutes into this stream and I'm getting more confused the more I think about it. So it is. If you want to phone in, the link is in the live comment section. Would love to hear from you in relation to this. I do want to know where you're coming from on this. I want to know what you're thinking, what's going on in your mind. We will do a transfer update later on today. Some really big transfer news kind of bubbling. And we're obviously live after the Liverpool Brentford game as well. And I'm still, honestly, I'm still infuriated by yesterday's performance and result. Tried my best to not watch or read anything about it, but absolutely struggling. Right, first on the show today is going to be I don't know what his name is. Man United latest is the name of is the name here. I don't know what his name is or her name is, but welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Hello, mate. I think that is not a right decision. I think that Ralph Rangnick, he's not lying. I think Ralph Rangnick's not lying. I think that Darren Fletcher, I think he's lying.
You think Martial's lying or Rangnick? Sorry.
I think Martial's lying. Martial's lying, I think.
Why do you think he's done it though?
Because I think that he wants to leave the club. Like he doesn't want to stay at the club anymore. I think that United will sell him. I think.
Maybe they will. I mean, do you want to see him go? Do you feel sorry for him? Do you want him out of the club? Like, what's your opinion as a Man United fan?
I feel sorry for him because he won't play now because we've got Cavani and Ronaldo on strike. Unless if we drop Cavani with Martial, then we'll see what happens with the tactics from Ralph Rangnick.
I hear you. Listen, young man, thank you very much for coming on the show and having your say. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Look, I want to get a variety of opinions on this. Feel free to call in. Emma here says, Terry, you're a hypocrite to call yourself a fan when you've got an agenda against Martial and highly biased in favor of Rashford. Blame the Glazers. You need to have a long, hard look at yourself. I think I've literally sat here and said, I don't think Martial's a liar. I don't think he's a bad egg. I don't see what he gets out of lying. So zero agenda. The reason that I said that I want it to, like, from a selfish point of view, when I look at my football club, do I want it to be Martial and then I want Rangnick to be backed, is because the hope would be that if the player does wrong, the club back Ralph disciplines him, moves him on. That's how you get control back of a dressing room. If it's the other way round, my football club's in an even bigger mess. So that isn't hating on Anthony Martial. It's looking at a solution for Manchester United. I don't see why Anthony Martial suddenly done this. I don't see him as a bad person like that. And if it turns out it's him, then I hold my hand up. But yeah, I don't really get the hypocrite point, really, because I haven't had a go at Martial. So yeah, that's interesting. But maybe it's because I'm not here calling Ralph this, that, and the other, because I'm not slagging Ralph off. Maybe that's, in your mind, Emma, sounds like I'm defending him just because I'm not calling him names and pejoratives. Maybe that's what it is. But I'd like to know, Emma, if you could respond again. It'd be interesting to learn. Ray's on the show next. What are you saying, Ray?
Morning, Terry. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. What's your thought on this?
I believe that some context might have been taken out of context here, because that's what happens in the interviews. The player might say something and the manager might take it as something else. But in all honesty, I think it's time for Martial to go, because you see, I'm a big guy in looking at people's body language, and I've been watching Martial for a very long time, and he's not a bad egg, but his body language, suggests to me that he's out the door already in his head. So, this public fighting, my believing with this public fighting is actually put together so you can have an exit. So, okay, he's falling out with Rangnick, they're not getting along. So yeah, I can do a summer move, but I believe he is going to leave anyway. So what you're hearing now is just stories so that it makes it look like Martial can't stay, but I think he's going anyway. That's my thinking.
No, I kind of get I get where you're coming from, though, mate. I really do. It's yeah, it's that. Will it help Martial get out quicker? Maybe. I mean, that could be his tactic in this. And I kind of get it. But I tend not to look at just the actions of an individual. I like to look at why someone's doing it. And I was saying this about a week ago. Man United have created the Martial paradox because they're paying him too much money. They're paying him. He's one of the highest paid strikers in the world. So clubs aren't going to give him Anthony Martial that kind of. They're not going to give him Robert Lewandowski money. They're not, right? No. So United, though, have created that problem. So it's United, in my opinion, who have got to take the hit. They're not taking the hit. They're not allowing him to move. Therefore, the player could become disgruntled. So if it is the player that's doing this, I'm not saying it's right, but I understand it because we've Man United create a monster. We create a problem for ourselves by not being well run, and it's so frustrating. But Ray, really appreciate
it is. But one thing before I go, I would to defend Martial. I kind of see where you're coming from, Terry, because he was bought to be a striker. Then we go on by Ronaldo. Then we go on by Cavani, and I believe that has disgruntled him because he's be like, well, I thought I was supposed to do the job, and then you're buying guys in front of me, never paying me. So yeah, I guess I'm good. Okay, cheers.
I hear you, bro. Listen, Ray, top man, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Appreciate it, buddy.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks. God bless.
No worries, my friend. Thank you. Next on the show, we're gonna get. Who am I gonna pick? There's so many people. I'm gonna go to the Bill. The Bill's on with us now. What you saying, mate?
Hi, Terry. I think it could be the manager.
The manager, yeah. You think the manager's lying?
It could be a misunderstanding, but sometimes people can take things the wrong way.
Yeah. No, listen, I totally agree. That could be all of this. It could just be Martial said A, Ralph's heard B, but the truth C. You know, it could be, you know, there's your truth, my truth, and then there is the absolute truth in the middle that could be going on. So you could be absolutely right there. Do you feel like Martial's got to leave, though, one way or another? Do you feel like we have to move him on so he can flourish elsewhere?
Maybe. There's so many problems at Manchester United, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I know your owners is a big problem, but it's been happening for since Fergie left.
Listen, Bill, I totally agree with you, mate. I really, really do. Great points being made. Then, by the way, I missed the Bill as well. It was a great show. It was a great show.
And I'm a City fan. I'm happy. And yeah,
you ruined it now. You ruined it now. You ruined it.
Thank you for letting me on. You're a top bloke, and I love the terrace.
Absolute top man. Not a problem at all. And we'll speak soon, Bill. Top man.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. That was, if you never watched it, you should watch The Bill. The Bill was a very good, I think it was kind of, I wouldn't call it a soap, but it was a bit like a soap. It was very good. 1-0 to Man United. Burnley reaction last year. Jan for a laugh. Fair enough, Prince. Yeah, we were probably talking about 21 then, weren't we? If true or false, no need to be said by Rangnick. Do you know what? That's one. That's why something more clarity's got to come out. So I've seen some people today say like Ralph's got to come out and apologize. I think Ralph's going to have to go the full hog now. I think the club has to. I think the club has to come out now and be very noisy about this. And if Martial isn't telling the truth, they've got to do something about it. If they don't, and it just gets swept under the carpet, more problems could arise. They really could. Lord Vader is now on the show. What are you saying, Lord Vader?
Hello, Tim. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can, bro. What do you want to say?
Oh, I'm a Man United fan, bro. It's just Man United is no. What do you call it? It's just a shit show from top to bottom. You know, since Fergie left, it's been happening for the past 9 years. This Martial situation, well, this is on us, Terry. We created this. We paid 50 million for him in 2015. We should have sold him when Mourinho left, like when it was all shit, and now we created this mess. Pogba situation, everything from top to bottom. Rangnick is set up to fail. It's just what it is.
I hear your opinion on that, my friend. I do. Lord Vader, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Top man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut out when you were saying thank you there. I apologize. There's an interesting comment here and I've lost it now. Where's it gone? Where is it gone? Oh, yeah, from Global CFC that just says, what if Rangnick is lying? Well, if he is lying, there's even bigger problems at the club, because why? Why is he lying? For what reason is he lying? That's what I would want to know. Mo's on the show now. Mo's a Man United fan. What are you saying, mate?
Not too bad, Terry. Hope everything's good with you. Yeah, I think our club's in chaos, man. Honestly, like I've been following United for since Ralph Rangnick took over. Where's the high press attacking football? I don't see it. I don't see high press attacking football. It's the same football as we're playing under Oli. I don't see any difference. Yesterday's game, Aston Villa with a better team. We have no midfield, Terry. We have no midfield whatsoever. You can't, I've been on Twitter and whatnot. We have no midfield. We have no CDM. We have no midfield structure. This high press attacking football, I don't see it. I don't know what's going on with our club. I see what's changed under Ralph Rangnick. I'm not calling out Ralph Rangnick, but what's changed? We've still got the Donny van der Beek situation still going on for the past 2 years now. He picks him on 88th minute. Come on, mate. What is Donny going to do at 88th minute? I could see that when we were 2-0 up, we had no control in the game. And literally, honestly, I watch United games still, but I don't really watch it with the same love and passion. I just watch it because of the sake of watching United or United play. Let me watch the game. But no, I don't see anything, Terry. I don't think anything has changed. I think the club will still have the same problem with the owners and Ed Woodward, wherever it is. There's this club is rotten to the core. It's toxic. The Martial situation, I don't get it. What is going on at the football club when no one has no answers? We don't have the answer with the Paul Pogba situation. We don't have answers with the Martial situation. Can somebody please explain to me what is going on at that football club?
And this is the thing for me. This is why, again, this has happened, and everybody's first reaction is to either condemn it's all Martial, he's a problem, or Ralph's a scumbag, he's got to go, I'm backing Martial. And I'm like, why are we letting the main culprits off? We're letting the protagonists of this off again. And you're right. Ralph's come in and there's been no real improvement. There really hasn't. There hasn't. And the maddest thing is, yesterday was probably one of our best performances for large parts.
Yeah.
I tweeted a few times during the game. And the reason I mentioned that I tweeted is just so anyone listening knows that this isn't an afterthought. We were working hard. When we were working hard in the game, we were fighting. We were dominating the match. As soon as Villa came back at us, though, on a couple of occasions, we just looked timid and we looked scared.
Yeah.
That lack of fight. And I believe that's born out of the way we're trained and the way we're coached and what players are allowed to get away. Have been allowed to get away with. But as you've said, it's the same. It's crazy with Ralph. The Ralph situation for me should have enabled more fans to go, the club's rotten in the middle, and that's what we should be focusing on. But we're not. We want things on the edge to be fixed. But again, that rot, you can get rid of Martial and Pogba and Rashford and Ralph and bring in new people. But if it's rotten in the core, that rot is going to spread again, and we'll be back to square one. And
can I add
that's
one
the frustrating thing for me? Yes, mate.
I was watching the game yesterday, and a commentator made such a great point with Fred. He goes, Fred, you need to treasure the ball. Don't lose it so easily. Treasure it. Make sure your life depends on it. This guy, man, he's like a headless chicken. I don't know how he's a footballer. He's got no control. He can't read the game. To me, anybody, if there's any young kids out there, you can be a footballer. No problem. Just run around and just pass the ball. Like, literally, what does he do? Like, Fred Diaz, under Ralph Rangnick, Fred's going to be amazing. He's going to be a baller. He's going to be... Bro, I don't see it, man. I don't see no players improved.
And do you know what it is? That's half the fan base's issue at the moment. Is people are angry that their predictions haven't come right. McTominay's been getting a lot more abuse than normal because he's been getting picked and Donny's been on the bench. McTominay weren't in the squad yesterday and Donny was still on the bench. So it was very frustrating yesterday. What I saw throughout the whole game was, see, we're better without this guy. We're better without... One guy tweeted me twice saying, see, when we have barely any British players in our team, we're much better. It's the British people are the problem. And I'm just like, it isn't the fact that you had to go at the Brits that bothered me. It was sort of, you really think that's what it is. You remove players with a particular passport and Man United's problems are solved. It's all the problems that people push out. This manager doesn't know ball. This player's a rotten egg. This guy's too greedy. This person's too that. The players that come out this week and defended themselves against all the claims of no one working hard are the ones getting more stick than the players who are on the edges that are trying to force moves away from the football club. It's the whole thing is a mess, and it's all about, bro, people being right.
My prediction for this year, look, I'll end on two things here. Number one, I'm not with Ralph Rangnick. I'm going to play high press attacking football, wherever it is. To play that kind of football, you need players like Donny van de Beek. He doesn't pick him. We've got the same issue with Donny van de Beek. Terry, top four is gone. We're not getting top four. My situation now is we start planning for next season of what you want to do, what manager you want to bring in, what players he wants to bring in, and let Ralph start going upstairs. Whatever Ralph wants to do upstairs or where he wants to fix the club, let him fix the club. But I will say if he's going to be Pochettino, Ten Hag, just start speaking to them now and say, look, we're not going to get Champions League football. What players do you want? And start from there. Top four's gone, Terry, for me.
Yeah.
Done.
I totally agree. I was looking at the league table this morning. I just got back up now. We're on 32 points, and we're on 32 points after 20 games. We've won
Spurs.
2 of our last 5. Spurs are above us by a point and have 2 games in hand.
There you go.
Arsenal above us by 3 points, and we're on the same amount of. There's 18 games to go, so there's still almost half a season.
Where's this control, Terry? Where's this control?
Man United have.
He said,
"Oh, mate, it's crazy."
Where is it, Terry? I don't see it. Where he said we need to control games. But how long? Okay, he's been in charge for a month now, yeah? Surely after a week, people told us after 5-6 weeks, you start seeing an implementation of his football. It's the same Oli football I'm seeing.
Mate, I totally agree. I totally agree. And look, Ralph,
He's a big dog, Terry.
It's more just like, again, Ralph isn't as good a manager as I thought he was going to be. But I'm not overly worried about that because he's going upstairs. However, my frustration is who employed him. Who made the decision? I said at the time, I wanted us to break the bank for our next manager now, pay whatever was necessary to get that person in now. Money talks. Stick Ralph upstairs as well, but I know Ten Hag's like, I'm not leaving until the end of the year. All right, we'll pay you an extra £3, £4, £5 million a year. You know, we'll pay extra compensation. Do what was needed. In fact, this has happened though, because we gave Ollie a new deal and didn't remove him in the summer. All of this stems from that. The reason that it's really falling apart is that you've overpaid these players, given them contracts that they don't deserve. You've allowed mediocrity to be in place. You've allowed player power to ensue. There's all these mistakes that have been made that have led to this. Ralph's come in. Is he as good a manager as we thought he was going to be? No. That isn't a big problem, as I say. Because he's going upstairs. He's a DOF. That's what he does. But he's also trying to make the players work harder and actually be fitter. One of the things I saw yesterday in that last 15 minutes is we were out on our feet because we're not as fit as other teams because we haven't been for the last 2.5 years making them train as hard.
We need Martial Pogba back. I'm sorry, Terry, but we need Martial Pogba back. Yeah, we honestly, we say we're not going to get top 4, but if you want to get top 4, and if you want to salvage the season, you need to get Paul Pogba and Martial back. Because without Paul Pogba or Martial, bro, you've seen it for a month, 6 weeks now. We're not doing shit. We're not doing jack shit against these teams. We said they said, oh, we're not playing one of the big teams in March. Well, we're dropping points against a small team. We're losing against Wolves. Bruno can't do it on his own in midfield. We need whether Man United like to admit it or not. If Paul Pogba's going to go in the summer, then fine. But get him back and let him earn his money and say, look, help us out, get us top 4, and then you can go. No problem. But if they want to salvage the season, you need to eat humble pie and get Martial Pogba back. Say, look, guys, just come back. It's a new era now. We need your help, and that's it. It's not. Look, you're paying them. Play them. What? You're gonna be stubborn? We're not tough. Terry, no Champions League football next year, then.
Mate, I hear you. I completely and utterly hear you, my guy.
And get Donny into that team. I don't know how get Donny in. I don't get it, Ralph, man. You're supposed to be a better manager than Oli. Yeah, you can't fix the same problem that you got more experience than Oli, but yeah, you can't. What is this Donny van de Beek situation? Like, is this? I don't understand. Get rid of him in this January. Get rid of him in the January. If not, play the man. What is? I don't get this thing. Only at Man United you have this problem. No one else has that. The Donny van de Beek situation. Just get rid of him in this January. Then, if you don't want to play him, just get rid of him. Give him on loan. He's off the books. We don't have to talk about it anymore, Terry. It's tiring.
Mate, I totally agree.
Thanks,
Mo,
Terry.
great call, bro. Speak to you soon. Thank you,
Thanks,
brother.
bye.
The super chat here from Prince, who says Rashford and Bruno are asking for new contracts. You're doing it. Yeah, of course. Are we going to overpay though? Are we going to overpay? What are the incentives within it? Are they then going to rest on their laurels? We have to be, if you're going to give them these big new bumper contracts, they've got to earn it, and earn it by scoring, winning games, getting us further up the league. It needs to be heavily incentivized and not huge bases. And I get it, and when you do make a commitment, you've got to get it right. So when you make Anthony Martial one of the highest paid number 9s in the world, you have to be sure that you're going to get one of the better performances, that you're going to get him to perform like one of the best in the world, that he's been paid like one of the best. He's got to perform like he's one of the best. Man United have not allowed that to happen for one reason or another. And that's the problem with these new deals. If I was United, I'd terminate all the bit part players and troublesome ones and rebuild in the summer. Get rid of Mata, Jones, Lingard, Martial, Fred. City fan here is what Liam's got to say. Thank you very much for the super chat, my guy. I appreciate it. Ten Hag doesn't fit Man United. You don't have his midfielders. Listen, I hear you on that. I'm using Ten Hag as an example as opposed to the person that has to come in. But United's season has fallen apart because they made so many poor decisions throughout the course of the summer. Signings, it's not on us to know whether Bakanoli was right or wrong. Everyone had an opinion on it. Everybody had an opinion whether to keep him, whether to get rid of him. But the club should know. That's the mad thing. We do it all based on speculation and the bits of information that come out and what we see on the pitch. These people that should be so close to their business, they know its progression. They know what's going on. They don't. Next on the show, Robbie Singh is here with us. What are you saying, Robbie?
Hey, Terry, how's your hangover?
It ain't come through yet. I still think I'm drunk, to be honest. So it's probably going to come through about in the afternoon.
I actually didn't end up sleeping because I saw you fully drunk and getting cheers on, and I was like, this is too entertaining. I should just stay on. It's better than the United game.
I appreciate that, my bro. I appreciate that. What do you want to say today?
Well, yeah, look, yesterday's performance was disappointing. Players lacked character and stuff, and I think it's come down to a point where I've just realized I had time to think, and I saw Rangnick's comment on Martial, and then Martial's post today as well on Instagram and all that, and it's come to a point where I think the owners have just allowed the players to have the power. I think it's down to that, and now what we are looking at is pretty much the owners are just eating popcorns, and they're letting the manager and the players fight. Because the players know if we stand our ground, the manager's going to go. And I won't be surprised if Rangnick is sacked because players don't want him there. And it's embarrassing. And yet you see people still coming out and saying, oh, we played better, or McTominay's not playing, thank God, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're looking at the same nonsense again and again. Why focus on the players? Can't you see it's like literally a popcorn show going on right now for the owners? And believe it or not, like we banter Arsenal a lot, right? Like Igal and whatever. But hands down, respect to their owners for whatever shit they've done over the years. They've given Arteta the full power and said, look, if we'll support you throughout, and if you want player A, B, C gone, we'll support you. And you can see that. Aubameyang, captain of the club, Arteta says, nah, he's not playing. Boom, gone. Not captain anymore. Boom, gone. Lacazette, nah, gone. Ozil, gone. So, and now he's playing the youngsters. Maybe it's just time that Rangnick just goes, you know what? Let's just, I would say, just play the youngsters. Just get the youngsters on and get your Brunos or whoever, one or two experienced players who actually care for the club. You can see the senior players like Bruno, you can see clearly on his face that he wants to be there. Ronaldo wants to be there. He wants to make sure the players, the club does well. So just keep the experienced ones and play the youngsters around. This season is off. Like, I'm just watching now. I'm literally watching United for the sake of just watching United. Like, I have no expectations. If you're 2-0 up, well done. Good. I predicted 2-1, even though we were playing well. And we ended up being 2-2. And I'm like, I'm not surprised. Well, why ruin my morning? But I can watch my team play. That's all I can do.
Manchester United this season have conceded, I believe, I want to go check this.
Yeah, more than Burnley, more than
Burnley, who are bottom of the league. Defensively, we were in absolute. When you look at the teams like City have conceded 13, Chelsea 17, Liverpool 18, Arsenal have conceded quite a bit as well, to be fair, with 25. Tottenham have conceded 20.
And
West Ham played one game more than us, and they've conceded 27. But we've also only scored 32 goals. It's an abomination, and this is the thing, right? The player agendas has got to go. People are going after Martial. It's like, get Martial. Great. Martial is the reason that Man United are in this position. Like, leave him alone and focus on the owners.
Yeah, but not even that. Like, just look at, Ronaldo is the problem just because he came out and said stuff. Like, okay, some people may not agree with the PR stuff, but he came out and he said stuff. But the people are saying he's the problem. And then they go, the defense, get Maguire out, get your Shaw out, get your Wan-Bissaka out. But the results on the pitch remain the same. So that means clearly there's something wrong with the club. Like, the players literally have more power, hence why they can do whatever they want on the pitch, because they know this guy it's like I don't know whether, like for us Indians, right? Our parents nag a lot when we were young, right? you go to a point where you get nagged a lot, but after a point you just go, yeah, I'm going to do this. They're going to nag. That's it. Nothing else is going to happen. Tomorrow is going to be a fresh new day. I'm still going to get fed. I'm still going to get paid. I'm going to give my pocket money. And I think that's the case for United players now. And whichever player like sort of goes to another guy and say, hey, get your shit together, they're going, I'm not listening to you. Why should I listen to you? Who are you? And that's where you have your clicks in the squad. I guess they're just players who are there. And I think we just need to look at Arsenal's approach. If the board allows it, if Rangnick is allowed to stay, and if he goes on top, I think that's the way to go. And yeah, it's sad, but I guess we have to stock up on the alcohol this time.
I hear you, my friend. Listen, Robbie, top man for coming on and
Yes.
having you say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Dan Watson here says, I know the Glazers are terrible, but having a proper DM would change everything in transition. We could then control games. That comes down to the board again, not getting one because they want their dividends. It's partly that, but at the same time, I still don't think bringing in a brilliant midfielder solves everything. I feel like the club has got to, because there have been times in the last 9 years where we need someone like right. Oh, if we could get a proper goal scoring midfielder, we'd be set. Do you know what? If we had a world-class centre-back, everybody said we need a world-class centre-back next to Maguire, and defensively we'll be brilliant. Like, there's so many things. That's why I can't just, that's why you may not just a DM away from being a brilliant team. Nah, mentality ain't there for me. But positionally, yeah, of course, if you throw in a Ruben Neves, we would control the games more. But I still think we'd find a way to throw it away. Jims is on the show next. What are you saying, Jims?
Hi, Terry. See, I just wanted to give you an opinion. See, I've listened to you for quite a long time, and I've just really been worried about Manchester United. I'm not a fan, but I just wanted to give a thoughtful opinion about United. And I think most of the time, you get the point, Terry.
Yeah.
The problem of United is not what the fans say on Twitter. Whoever is a great player, Bruno, Ronaldo, Pogba, those are issues that has nothing to do with the problems of Manchester United. Let's assume today that we go back to 2006 and we have Fergie as the manager for Manchester United now. Do you think Manchester United is going to win the league title? I say yes. Why would Manchester United win the title? It's not because Fergie is a great tactician. He is a great tactician, the greatest ever. It's not because he has some tactical magic that every other person doesn't have. The reason why Fergie would win the title is because Fergie is in charge of Manchester United and has created a culture that meant it doesn't matter whoever is the CDM, it doesn't matter if Harry Maguire has got a world-class defender next to him. We have the issues with Maguire, we have the issues with Fred, we have the issues with Scott. And people keep saying, oh, this player is shit, this player is that, this player is this. Those issues are the fragments of the issues that Manchester faces. I'll give you 3 examples before I go. Liverpool, Manchester City. There's one common thing with both teams. If you look at Liverpool and Manchester City and the success they've had, and even if you go back and look at Fergie's time, and even look at Wenger's time of the days of Arsenal, there's one unique similarities of successful teams in the Premier League and in Europe. There's just one thing, is that they have the authority from the manager. The manager is the most important person in the team.
Mm.
Like this whole idea that you have, oh my God, Bruno is my favorite player, this person is the defender, those things are rubbish. They don't make any sense. They're not going to make you guys title winners. It's not going to happen. Bayern Munich.
Do you know what, my friend? Sorry to cut in because we're getting toward the end of the show. But I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with it fully. You know, it's how things are run, and that manifests itself on the pitch. You're absolutely spot on, Jims. Great call. Thank you very, very much indeed, my bro. Really appreciate that, and everybody else that's tuned in today. We are at the end of the show now. I thank you all so much for tuning in, all the super chatters, new subscribers, everyone who commented and called in. And there's loads of you backstage that didn't get a chance to speak today, and I apologize. We're live after Liverpool, Brentford, and we've got big transfer news coming later on today as well. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.